Hey everybody, Adventure here. Today is day 1 of phase 3. There are 3 days in this phase, so almost to the finish line. If you've been following this journal, um, last night I did the final flush, and for me, I drank 1.5 cups of prune juice. And it definitely did its job. It took about 2 hours before my body was ready to eliminate all the toxins, or at least I thought it was all the toxins. And then about 2 hours later, it was round 2. Fortunately, my body allowed me to sleep for about 6 hours, and then it was round 3, although there was barely anything there. Um, so then it was on to hydration and taking it very easy and starting the new routine, which um, meant the before each meal, increasing 2 of the 3 herbal supplements that I take. I believe it was the beet cleanse and the gentle digest that I increased, and then the sugar eradicator was still at 1. And then tomorrow it will be increased to 3 of the 2 herbal supplements. Does that make sense? And then the last day increase them to 4. But all the other herbs all stay at 1. The other differences are that I got to increase. Well, there's no more ghee, so I got to have low fat in my meals, which meant I got to add avocado or seeds, so that was really nice. I really enjoyed having some avocado today. And the other thing is that when I take the before meal herbs, I drink that with lemon water, where I squeeze a whole lemon into my glass of water, which is about 12 ounces, and then sip on lemon water during my meal, and then warm water for my after herbs. So that all went really well, relatively. The first meal, I sort of forgot to do the lemon water, so I just did it at the end of my meal. And then I kind of caught up on all of that. Oh yeah, and also I forgot to increase my my herbs on the first meal as well. But I just waited till the second meal to correct that. So overall, all of that went really well. I took it real easy today. And that was all good. And the whole point of phase 3 is to rebuild my digestive system after cleaning it all out, so that I don't just jump into all the things that I'm not supposed to eat, which I've been really good this entire time until today. And today I am animal sitting next door, and so I was over there and looking through their fridge, thinking I'm not going to eat anything because I'm on this diet right now. And then they had all these different cheeses, and I was like, oh, and they had some Gouda, and I was like, oh my God. And I haven't had dairy in almost 2 weeks. Not supposed to have any dairy, and um, I had a couple slices, and I thought, what's the big deal? I consciously allowed myself to do it. I had this whole conversation with myself of, you just went through this whole program and your digestive system is really sensitive right now because it's very cleaned out and it needs to be rebuilt up. And I was like, I could have waited 2 days. I could have waited, just a couple of days and then, gradually let myself have some. But for some reason, I talked myself into doing it. And I'm really good at doing that. I'm really good at justifying why I can do anything. But what was surprising is about a half an hour after I ate it, my body didn't seem to mind it. My body didn't like have an adverse reaction as far as I could tell. However, the amount of guilt and shame and disappointment that I had with myself because I didn't keep my commitment to myself. And I allowed myself to, like, initially when I ate the cheese, I wasn't judging myself. I had the whole conversation. I was conscious about it. I thanked the cheese. I did all of the things that I normally do to like sort of justify and make myself okay with things. And yet, about a half hour after I ate it, I just was like filled with all of this sort of remorse. And I didn't try to fix it. I didn't go take extra herbs and try to fix it or whatever. And I also didn't hide it. I shared with my group that this is what I did. And now I'm sitting with this really heavy energy of I've let myself down. Now, everybody was like really supportive and encouraging. Even my coach was like, adventure. We all make mistakes. Just keep going. You're almost there. Just keep going. Like, don't throw in the towel. And I wasn't going to throw in the towel, and I'm not throwing in the towel. But I really disappointed myself because I recognized this is a pattern that I have where I almost complete something and then I sabotage my progress. And that's something that I really need to sit with and meditate on. And I did sit with it in the moment, and I did go meditate and find peace and more grounding. And I'm better for it. I'm better for where I'm at for the meditating and just being with it and letting go of the judgment. And I've let go of the judgment. But there's something really there. There's something that's present about me not holding to my commitments. And so that's something that I'm going to investigate a little further within myself to find out, maybe to find out where that comes from But more so, well, yeah, I guess it is that. I guess it is, where does that come from for me? And also, perhaps finding places in my life where I have kept my commitments to myself. And I have through this program up until today. And I've surprised myself at how well I've done. And yet, I sabotaged myself. It's a very interesting predicament that I put myself in. And it's something I really want to change about myself. So maybe part of this was so that I could really see what it is I do, so that I can see clearer as to where this came from and how to shift it. I know that I'm shifting it in looking at it. I know that I'm shifting it by me keeping going. Sounded weird. But I've got to find a way to alchemize this within myself. And maybe this is something that I just accept about myself, that this is something that I do. I'm not sure. But it's something I'm very aware of because I can see the pattern. And just so you know, I'm not beating myself up at this point. What's happened has happened. And I'm shining the light on the shadow aspect of me, is that I sabotage my own commitments to myself, and then I feel really bad about it. And now I'm finding a way to alchemize that within myself so that I can grow from this experience. So that's where I'm at. That's how my day has been. And now I've got some internal work to do. That's what I do. I hope you were well, and I will chat with you tomorrow. Ciao.